These are 3 hard-earned jewels that'll save you blood, sweat, and tears. We have to learn them the long way. You don't have to.
1, 2.
It's 3 the hard way.
Oh my God. Everything. I have to relearn everything on a regular basis. Because I tend to swim through different disciplines, every time I've changed from one thing to another, by the time I get back to that thing again, it's changed in a way that makes it feel unfamiliar to me. So I'll give you an example, like video production, right? At one point, I was using Canon 5Ds, right? Those were the holy grail. And it was like, I knew everything that camera could do. And then I left video production and went into advertising and in-house, and then, UX, UI a lot more. And then I came back to video production, and that whole ecosystem had completely changed. It was nothing like what it was when I got back to it. So having to learn what all of the new cameras were, it wasn't like an insane, learning curve, but it was just, I had to relearn what the process is, how you dump the footage. Even before the 5D, I was learning on Panasonic DVXs, right? So how you upload the footage from your mini DV tapes as opposed to how you use SD cards, as opposed to using solid state hard drives. It's constantly changing and evolving. And so every time I changed disciplines and come back, it's been a learning curve where I felt like I had to relearn everything all over again. I'd say to somebody that's trying to not get left behind by technology, try to understand it little by little. Initially, it might not make any sense, but don't give up on it. Give it some time, put a little bit of energy into it, and I think it'll eventually start to click. But what I find is a lot of folks, if they don't understand it initially, they just run away from it and forget about it until it becomes something so big that they can't ignore it anymore. And often at that point, you're no longer able to take advantage of it. You're just part of the general consumer. The only software that I've kind of stuck to is Photoshop, and that's because that was the foundation. That was the first software as a creative that I learned how to use. I think when Figma came out, I was reluctant to jump onto the Figma bandwagon. I thought Sketch was going to be the one. As a software, I think Sketch at that time was perfect for me. It could do everything I needed it to do. But I think the approach Figma took in trying to accommodate for designers over time kind of lapsed what Sketch was doing, and they ended up being kind of the industry leader because they were accommodating to an audience in a very different way. At the time, I came from a school of having your software on your hard drive, and you pay for Photoshop, you pay for Illustrator, you pay for whatever other software. And I think because Figma had that free tier, so many other designers jumped onto that ecosystem. And at some point, everybody kind of flooded over there, and that became kind of the way of doing things. So for me, because of that, I had to kind of leave Sketch and move over to Figma because that's what everybody else was more familiar with.
1,